Hi, my name is Max, and today we're going to talk about Castaneda's books. So, a list of all of his books you can find in the description below this video. And just want to mention that those books are not for everyone. They're for people who are trying to find themselves, for people who are in a spiritual path. You guys should know who you are. Castaneda's books are about awareness. So the more you aware, the more you can see, and there is no end to seeing. So what it actually means by the word seeing, you can find in a book about separate reality, which you can experience with altered states of mind. You can reach altered states of mind with meditation, contemplation, or with the help of other tools like plant medicines, which I would definitely not recommend unless you know what you're doing. And even then, that's not actually a good option. Some of the techniques of gathering and like plant preparation you can find in the book, but definitely do not focus your attention on it. It's not what the book about. Up to this point, I think I've read 4 of his books: Tales of Power, Teachings of Don Juan, Separate Reality, and The Way of the Warrior. I would call Don Juan's view of the world is a real view, but most people would call it fictional. I would encourage you to read it for yourself and then decide. As always, you'll find a lot of answers to your questions, but probably you'll have even more questions. If you're at the beginning of your spiritual journey or somewhere along the way, you still will find you in his books. I think they're written in a unique manner, but if you think you found something similar, please let me know in the comments below. It's needless to say that his books are easy to read. If you don't have a lot of time, I just say read the teachings of Don Juan. If you have more time, just go read Art of the Dreaming. Carlos Castaneda writes all of his observations in a report manner. So pretty much Don Juan talks and Carlos writes. He writes it in a journal, and his journal he carries everywhere with him, and that's how most of his books are actually written. Most of his books are in some way connected to Don Juan, and Don Juan is this Yaqui, Native American shaman, and he's also known as Brujo, and you won't be able to find Brujo nowadays. Don Juan has a lot of real and not so real friends. By real, I mean people who you can touch. And in this category, you can fit witches, diableros, or sorcerers. And in not so real category, you can fit spirits, forces, guards, allies. Anyway, more of that will be explained to you in a book. Teachings of Don Juan will teach you mostly about the ways of shaman, that our perception of the world is inaccurate, that you're safe just because you don't know. Once you know, you're not able to go back to your old ways. What you know will not necessarily bring you any good, and you'll see things differently once you know. The world become more fluid instead of it being solid. You'll meet unknown forces on your journey, and somehow deep inside of you, you'll know what to do. It's like you'll have a blueprint to it. But if you'll try to explain it with logic or put limits on it, you'll fail miserably. Carlos is a simple Western guy who cannot believe or even understand all of the things that will happen to him, which he shouldn't. Like, there is no way you can explain or express all these things he felt or seen. So eventually he gets in a really scary situation and stops visiting Don Juan for months or even years. We all have this urge to search for self, for a deeper meaning. We know that there is much more to this world, but you probably won't believe any of his words until after you experience it for yourself. This is actually the time when you begin your search. On a closing note, I just want to mention that these books cover only view of the world as it's seen by Native American, especially shamans. There are many other books by many other authors that can expand your mind, allow other deep information to kick in. Here are just few other examples on a topic of spirituality that will show you world in a different light. DMT, The Spirit Molecule by Rick Strassman. This book will show you people's experiences on a DMT and how they've been to different realities, and Strassman explains it from the scientific point of view. Akashic Records of Edgar, Cayce, and this book will leave you in no doubt that there is another dreamlike reality where all of the information is stored. There are other Indian books, for example, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. They are one of the oldest and best kept Indian secrets. And another book is Autobiography of a Yogi, which was written by Paramahansa Yogananda, and it was before it was really heavily promoted by Steve Jobs. If you will skip The Art of Dreaming, go read the book by Stephen LaBerge, and it's called Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming. And in this book, LaBerge actually proves that lucid dreaming is real. Tibetans and Egyptians have also books of the dead that explain to you what happens after the death. There are many more books, but let's stop here. The more you will read, the weirder it will get. Believe me. After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed, and you believe whatever you want to believe. You take a red pill, you stay in a wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.